Hello everyone, this is Merryfellow. Been a minute. Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, it actually hasn't been a minute. It's been just a couple of days. The last thing I did was Doom. And I regret to inform every single one of you that I am hereby and effectively canceling the Doom series because it got one view for a video that took me months to make. So that's so silly funny. I'm gonna pick up with Duke Nukem though, so maybe that's good. Maybe that'll be the next video, even though I really don't want to make a Duke Nukem video. Kind of want to make something new, so that'll be fun. Besides, it's been a while for the other one, so we're just gonna do that video and then I'll do Duke Nukem or something like that. How's everybody doing, by the way? I hope you're doing well. This is another Yapcraft video. In this one, I wanted to explore. I wanted to explore my world, so yeah, that'll be interesting, that'll be funny, that'll be silly. That'll be silly, Batman. So yeah. I already asked that. Feel free to talk to me in the comments, please. Please. Like, subscribe, comment, all that. I know that I shouldn't be doing that this early in the video, but at this point, who cares? I'm plugging for fun. Didn't burp. Okay, we're good. So yeah, like I said, been a little bit because I did my Doom video. I'm actually getting this video probably out on time. I'm probably gonna put it out tomorrow in the morning instead of trying to release it at night again. I think I learned my mistake there. Yeah, I'm gonna start uploading it square in the morning, and I'm probably going to see my friend tomorrow, and we're gonna watch Superman, and we're gonna go roller skating. And I don't have health insurance, and that's a big issue. So yeah, you know, that'd be a funny topic to talk about. Let's talk about health insurance, everybody. Let's talk about health insurance, because that's something that I don't think a lot of people really talk about. So essentially, I turned 18 December 27th, 2024. I am turning 19 December 27th, 2025, the year that I made this, the year that we are currently in. And here's the thing about when you turn 18. It's that for your entire life up to that point, from when you were itty-bitty 0 to 18 years old, you essentially had the ability to be on your parents' insurance, your parents' health insurance. Come 18 years old, typically, at least from what I understand, this doesn't necessarily affect everybody, but it does affect me, so I'm going to talk about it. Come 18 years old, your healthcare provider will say, you know what, maybe we don't like the fact that you're allowed to not have to pay $10,000 for getting your nail clipped because you jammed it in the door really hard and you thought you broke your finger. Now you have to pay $10,000 for that instead of what you would usually pay with health insurance, which is $9,000.99 for getting that. So you know, that's interesting. I love talking crap about healthcare. I think it's funny to me. I have a twisted sense of humor, Batman. There's no laws against the okay, nope, I'm not gonna finish that joke. That was 2021. Who remembers that year, guys? So yeah, I don't have health insurance right now, so I'm trying to figure that out. In the 7 months that it's been since I turned 18 years old, you know, there's a funny thing about health insurance companies. It's that because they're a business, they can also tell you, we're not going to do the thing that you want to pay us for. You know, because we're allergic to money. You know, there's a very obvious joke I could make here, but we're not 5 minutes in, or we're not like 10 minutes into the video yet, and I don't know how YouTube censors work, but oh, okay, yeah. So my Fantastic Four rant that I didn't finish when I made my Doom video. So essentially, the gist of the rant, if you watched the Doom video, it was at the very end, was essentially, there's 3 ways that Fantastic Four could go in terms of not political, but in terms of audience reception, which is A, It's actually a good movie, so it gets a good score. I don't think it's going to be a great film necessarily, but it will probably be good. And, it's not going to be an MCU saver, but it will be good. It'll be a movie that we go, oh, well, that was a good movie. That was a good movie. Well, let's remember the good things, not the bad. The second way that it could go, which is equally as likely, is it turns out to be utter crap. Crap. Mega crap. Get out. That's kind of the thing that I don't... Excuse me, hold on. No burp. Okay, we're good. I ate tuna right before this, I'm sorry. I can equally see Fantastic Four going the way of the Dodo, aka the original, well, both of the actually made and finished and put to cinema screens Fantastic Four movies thus far, and be absolute utter dog doo-doo. Ruin the careers of not Pedro Pascal, because there's enough writing on Pedro Pascal that that person can continue with their career, but probably really anybody else that's not quite as famous as Pedro Pascal. So that's also pretty good. It's pretty nice. There's also the secret third option, the secret somehow still managing to be entirely very much viable for this movie, which is that it's just kind of mid, that it doesn't really do anything special, which I doubt, and is just another Marvel movie, again, which I doubt. So yeah, I got to see Superman today. Technically July 11th as I record this, but yesterday, July 10th, I got to watch Superman, DC Studios Superman, written by James Gunn and directed by James Gunn. And I'll say this, I think that movie is incredibly good. I think Superman kind of blew me away. I was expecting it to be a good movie, but it is unironically one of the best superhero films, I think, since Spider-Verse. And I'm not talking necessarily... Like, Spider-Verse is a movie, in terms of a superhero movie, it's really good. Like, it's a really good, solid superhero movie. Especially the second one. The second one is pure art. But in terms of, like, cinema movie, I think Spider-Verse is probably the greatest film of all time, and the sequel is an even greater film somehow. So, but in terms of superhero movies, in terms of superhero cinema, purely and honestly all by itself, Superman is right up there with Matt Reeves' The Batman and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, as well as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's kind of like it's kind of like the 2020s, maybe late 2010s kind of Greek pantheon of really good superhero movies, because in the 90s, you had your Blade, not X-Men, because that hadn't come out yet, but, you had the 1989 Batman, probably Batman Returns up there as well, and that was kind of like the big ones of the late 80s, early and late 90s superhero films. And then as you approached into the 2000s, the pantheon switched from, okay, well, instead of it being Batman, you have the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, once again, the first X-Men that came out, definitely Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. I don't necessarily like The Dark Knight personally. I think it's just it's a good movie. It's fine. I don't really particularly like it, but that's okay. It's just mid for me. But Batman Begins, you have later on you'd get Iron Man and that kind of thing. So that was kind of the pantheon of the 2000s. You had all your really cool, kind of like fun superhero movies that were actually trying to do something cool. In the 2010s, like there's kind of like a weird eras to the 2010s, kind of like how there is with every, like, you have your early, mid, late, but in the 2010s it was different. There was a lot of things that happened in the 2010s that were kind of wild. Every other decade up to this point, kind of the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s kind of all stayed the same in terms of its superhero movie quality and its eras. The only thing I would say is after there's a sort of defined point, and it is 2005, Batman Begins. There is BBB, which is before Batman Begins, and then there's ABB after Batman Begins. So, and that's where you get your Iron Man and your stuff like that. So from there, in the 2010s, I think the pantheon of superhero films was kind of like, my personal one would include The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I love those movies, even if they are kind of not great. But it would be like the first Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame, not The Dark Knight Rises, not Man of Steel, really, not the Justice League films, Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, because it came out in 2018. Maybe like the first Ant-Man movie. No, that doesn't seem like a pantheon film. I don't know. But a lot of those, looking back at the 2010s, a lot of those superhero movies were really good. Anyway, and then you get the 2020s, and so far it's kind of just been Across the Spider-Verse, The Batman, Deadpool and Wolverine. And that's kind of like, that's pushing it, because Deadpool and Wolverine, incredible movie. I love Deadpool and Wolverine. Problem is, I don't really like Ryan Reynolds because of something that just makes me not really like him. So there you go. Kind of ruined all the Deadpool movies for me. Oh yeah, that's another one from the 2010s, the Deadpool movies, I think. Oh, Logan as well, because Logan is definitely a pantheon superhero movie. You need to watch Logan. If you haven't watched Logan, either because it's R-rated, because you know what's going to happen to Logan at the very end, I'm not going to spoil it even though everybody knows, or just because you don't like the X-Men, you need to watch Logan right now. Turn off this video. Listen, turn off this video. You still have enough time that you can finish it later. Turn it off, watch Logan, come back to this video, and cry. Cry your brains out, because you have to listen to me talk. So there you go. That's kind of like my 2010s pantheon. Logan, Deadpool movies. 3 of the 4 Avengers movies that came out. Really nothing else, except for maybe the MCU Spider-Man movies, and if it was my own personal pantheon, I would say the Amazing Spider-Man movies as well, but I'm also biased. And like I said, in the 2020s, we've had The Batman, which is pure gold. That also ranks among, like, the modern day cinema sort of pantheon, like, with Spider-Verse, because it is just purely art. And now I'm happy to say that Superman joins the superhero movie pantheon. I wouldn't say it's necessarily, absolute cinema meme. Not like Spider-Verse or The Batman is. Like, those are really, really good movies. Superman is an incredible film. It is really, really good. It's not an art superhero movie like what I would consider both cinema and superhero pantheon movies like Spider-Verse and Batman, but it is definitely up there. Like, I would say it is just under the Batman in terms of quality, in terms of the sheer raw beauty of it. Like, it is truly, I teared up. That movie hit me hard in a lot of ways. Superman is truly incredible. I'm in love with that movie. Like, that movie, if I could tell you my top 5 films right now, Across the Spider-Verse is number 1, Into the Spider-Verse is number 2, for very obvious reasons, I feel, but I'll get into them in a minute. Matt Reeves is the Batman. Superman. And then probably The Nightmare Before Christmas. Because, I could just watch The Nightmare Before Christmas again and again. Although, it could be replaced by Coraline. I think Coraline has there's a lot more going on in Coraline, and plus, it's not really a Tim Burton movie, if you understand my drift. But yeah. Anyway, the reasons why I like the sequel more than the original for the Spider-Verse movies. The original definitely deserved the Academy Awards that it got. I'll say that right off the bat. It deserved them 100%. It deserved more, frankly. Across the Spider-Verse got absolutely fucking robbed at the Oscars, and I will never, ever watch the Oscars again because of it. You mean to tell me this movie that deals with so much more stuff than the original Spider-Verse did, like, to a degree that is actually insane, and is truly an artistic movie. You mean to tell me that that movie only won one Academy Award because it was an animated superhero movie? Are you kidding me? It should have been nominated for far more categories. And I just love Across the Spider-Verse. Like, that movie, I could watch it probably a billion times. It's not as good. Okay, that actually this is gonna sound really weird, but you gotta listen to me for a second. Across the Spider-Verse, I think, is a better movie when you can actually see it the way it was intended, on the biggest screen possible, with surround sound and, like, just the theater excitement. If I could go back and watch Across the Spider-Verse in movie theaters for the first time, like I did back when it came out on June 2nd, 2022, 2023, June 2nd, 2023, if I could watch that movie again for the first time and forget everything I knew about it, I would do it probably a billion times. I would go back and do it a billion times. The only problem would be I'd have to go through the rest of my life from that point forward to where I am now, and I'm not willing to do that shit again. I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, I am in intimate love with Across the Spider-Verse. If Across the Spider-Verse was a human being, who do I go to ask for a hotel room? Because, I'm sorry, you're getting plowed. The wheels are gonna pop right off. I am a ride you would not survive. I'm not. You're just gonna die. That's how it is. This joke is so stupid. But yeah, Across the Spider-Verse is, like, the greatest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've watched some doozies. I've watched the Evil Dead's. Well, I've watched the second Evil Dead because my dad was like, the first one is just the second one, but without the best gore effects. And then Army of Darkness, 2 incredible films. I've watched Coraline. I've watched both of the Beetlejuices. I have watched The Nightmare Before Christmas at least twice in theaters now, or once. I can't remember. I've seen it in theaters once. Yes, I've seen it in theaters. I've seen it on VHS. I've seen it on DVD, and I've seen it on Blu-ray. And I will forever love that movie, even if I don't like the guy who made it, because, come on, dude. What the hell? But there will be no movie in my entire life, probably for at least another 20, 30 years, that will ever be as beautiful in terms of its visuals, in terms of its voice acting, in terms of its story, in terms of its animation and scoring. Never again will there be a movie like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I don't even know if Beyond the Spider-Verse can reach the same peak that Across the Spider-Verse hit. I said this to my mom the first time I watched this movie. Every minuscule frame of that movie belongs in a fucking museum. It is that good. It is that beautiful. Just the expressionist work alone is like, that movie is beautiful. Once again, if Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was a human being, hit me up. I'll show you a decent time at least. Not quite as good as that movie has shown me, because good lord, I could watch that movie a million times. I've seen it 4 times in theaters now. It's the only movie I've ever seen 4 goddamn times in a movie theater, and on separate dates, in separate years. Okay, look, It came out in 2023. It was right before I started my junior year. I watched that movie 3 times in theaters over the entire summer. One showing every month in Colorado, okay? In the government bunker where they've stored me. Please come send help. And what's it called? And then last year, Columbia Pictures and Sony, they did, like, to celebrate Columbia Pictures' 100th anniversary, they did a showcase of a bunch of movies. Chief among them, the Spider-Man movies, were on a huge thing. Every week on Monday, they would show a Spider-Man movie at a theater near you, probably at least. And then the cheapy theater, as we call it, there's a little, like, 50s styled and decorated, like, kind of family owned, I think, movie theater in Colorado Springs. And they, in the middle of doing the Spider Mondays, put out Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, because they do kids animated movies during the summer for cheap, like super cheap, like $5 a ticket cheap. And me and my mom did not see Into the Spider-Verse in theaters, I don't think, but we did see Across the Spider-Verse in theaters. So I have seen that movie 4 times in cinemas, and god damn it all, if it ever comes out again to a cinema in Colorado, I am taking my gumpy butt over there and I am watching it in theaters again. I don't care who I have to go through. I don't care how much money I have to pay. You can take all of the money that is in my wallet, in my 5 different piggy banks that are in my room, and my $1,800 I was given for college, and you can take all my money and I will watch that movie again, and I will be in heaven. You could do it on a dingy TV from the 1980s. I would watch it again for all my life savings. That movie is so good. It is so peak. That is the only movie I've ever seen 4 times in a movie theater. And I intend to keep it that way. There will never be a movie that I will watch quite as much as Across the Spider-Verse. I didn't even watch Beetlejuice 2 twice. Okay? There is a special kind of thing that I do when I have an intimate relationship with a movie. And it is, I go to see it twice. At least. Usually, anyway. The Batman is the only exception because it is a 3-hour movie. It is almost 3 hours. If you round it up, it's 3 hours long. I am not sitting in a movie theater for a total 6 hours over 2 showings of the Batman. I love that movie. I'm not going to do it. I've watched Coraline twice in theaters. So, there you go. I watched the latest Spider-Man and the second Spider-Man, the MCU movies, in the theaters twice. I did not see Into the Spider-Verse twice, also because, well, that was a birthday thing. I went to go see that for my birthday. We might have actually seen it twice in theaters. I can't remember anymore. It's been long enough. 2018 was a really long time ago, and so was 2019. Like, that's... When you wake up and you realize, oh my god, it's been almost 6-7 years since 2018, you die a little bit inside, okay? Just a little bit. So, needless to say, those are my opinions on Across the Spider-Verse. It belongs in a museum. Every frame should be printed out, put in a big golden easel, and it should be the focal point of everybody's fucking trip to a museum, because the Mona Lisa is bullshit, okay? I've never even seen it in person before, because the Mona Lisa is dumb, okay? It is itty bitty for one, and for two, it's just a picture of a lady. Go on Google. You can find a better picture of a lady. I guarantee it. Right now. Do it right now. Pause this video after you're finished watching Logan, and after you're finished listening to the second act of this video and entering the final minutes. Go on Google and find a picture of a woman. I guarantee you your experience will be better than looking at the Mona Lisa. I guarantee it. Watch Across the Spider-Verse. Pause this video right now. After you have watched Logan, got to this point in the video, looked at a picture of a lady on Google, pause the video right now, and go watch Across the Spider-Verse. It is so beautiful. I am in love with that movie. Do not watch it on a streaming service. They will interrupt it with an ad, and it will be bullshit. I blacked out there for a second. I don't know what happened. I started talking about Across the Spider-Verse, and then it's like, now I'm here. The CIA and the FBI are studying me. I can see them in the 2-way mirrors that are up there. I know that I can see you. I know that I'm not supposed to see through the 2-way mirrors. I don't care. I know that they're there, so it just means I can see them better. I know you're there, Gary. Don't mess with me, pimp. So there you go. I'm calming down. I'm coming off my rant. I'm coming off my soapbox. There's only a few minutes left of this video. I just kind of wanted to do my outro now after I did my impassioned rant and threatened my CIA operative. Hi, Gary. I see you still up there, douche. And so yeah, this is so cringe, dude. I don't care. I don't like cringe culture. I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna have a great time. Thanks everybody for watching this video. If you did, I hope that this video doesn't get very terrible views, like the Doom video. Look, I don't expect a lot of views really when I make these videos. With a series like Doom though, it's my heavy hitter on this channel. It started at 444. It is at 444 views right now, the original video. And every video after it has gotten consistently at least close to 100 views, right? To see that my latest in the last 2-3 days has gotten 1 view completely destroyed my spirit. So, having said that, I'm leaning on the fence of not doing any more Doom for a little bit. At least until, like, I don't know, my channel blows up and people watch old videos and then they go, oh, okay, well this video is kind of lit. And then I will judge it and see if it is good enough to reach another Doom video. Because that was just sad. That made me so sad inside to see that. Like, oh, I think had I not promoted it on my Tumblr, nobody would have seen it. So yeah, thank you for watching this. If you did, like I said, Minecraft has also been a flagship series. It's been a flagship series ever since I did the first Minecraft video I ever did a long time ago. I still have all of my old videos in my editor. Like, every single one that I've ever made is on my editing platform, and also somewhere in my hard drive, I think. So, you know, if somebody really wants to see those old videos, hit me up and you can do your little lost media thing. Somebody start lost media on me. It'll be fun. You will have like 15 different entries because of how many channel names I've done. I am sticking with Merryfellow. It is the most interesting and original. It's the most original one I've had so far, and it probably describes me best because I am just a merry little guy. I'm a merry little fella. Okay? Get off my rock. So yeah. Thanks guys for watching this. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family if they don't suck, because, you know, I've said this before and I'll say it again a million times. If your family sucks, then they are losing out on seeing you as you, because you're cool. I guarantee you. You're watching my videos and you're probably not a douchebag, so you're cool. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, my 76 subscribers. You guys make it worth it, because, you know, you're fun. Love you guys. Mean it. Later.